Hello, hello. Welcome to Live Numerology Readings. I am your host, Cindy Van Ornum, Master Numerologist, and deeply passionate about supporting healers, coaches, and spiritual teachers in the shift from survival mode to thrival mode. So for me, numerology has been the number one key to really helping me trust my own intuition, listen to the messages from the universe so that I can take action based on what my core desires are, based on my mathematical code versus trying to do what everybody out there is trying to tell us to do. Good morning, Carla. Welcome. So I'm going to start off today with just a feel into today's energy, the numbers we're experiencing right now in this moment collectively. I've also pulled a couple of cards for us collectively, and then I'm going to dive straight into ideal client contracts. So we are experiencing today at the time of recording this 8 of clubs energy and a ruling number 9. Now we're also coming into a weekend that's experiencing a new moon in Taurus with a lunar eclipse. There's a lot of energy shifting as we shift from April into May. There's lots of things happening. So we're feeling a stirring up at the beginning of this week of all the things that we were thinking we needed to do, that we were obligated to do, that we should do. And really, we're being invited and called to higher, fearless leadership, to step in and trust who we are at the core of our essence, to know that the nudges we're receiving, the messages that we're getting, they're all meant to drive us forward to what we want. And so there's old programming in the mind occurring that's saying, but I've been doing this for years, so I need to continue to hang on to it. And the universe is saying, what if you let it go? What if you didn't have to do all the things that you think you had to do? And what if you could laser focus so that you could allow information to flow through you versus trying to find it outside of you, that you could become this open channel for the information versus looking to so-and-so and looking over here and looking over there and taking this course and that course and always deferring to other people's opinions. So the cards that I pulled for us collectively today are the 4 of Hearts and the King of Diamonds. So the 4 of Hearts is saying, bring it back to a commitment to yourself. Are you willing to let your mind play with you, to have your mind be part of this playground that we play in, this possibility playground where all things belong, where you can have the love and the money, you can have the bliss and the joy and the wealth, but the other possibilities of sadness, grief, anger, frustration, they're there, but we don't have to choose them. We can choose how we want to experience our lives. And so this is really what we're being invited into so that we can thrive, so that we can have the mastery of the material world. Now, for some spiritual teachers out there and coaches and healers, it can sometimes feel like it's wrong to have lots of money, or it's wrong to thrive in this world when there are so many others who are suffering. How many times have we heard this cliche statement? When you shine your light, it gives others permission to do the same. That includes the dollars. It includes all of it. It includes the love, the peace, the ease, the thriving, the money, the experiences, the travel, the adventure. It includes all of it. All of it. Money does not get excluded simply because we believe that it might be wrong. The more money you make, the more it gives permission for others to do the same. And wouldn't we rather that the money be in the hands of the spiritual teachers, the healers, the coaches, those of us who are out there who give a fuck, who want the world to be a better place? So it is time, it is your time to thrive and to be spectacular in this world. And it's not just about the money, it is about all of it. It is about being all-encompassing in your wealth in your self-love, in your expression of purpose, in your relationships, in your connection with source, and in the dollars, all of the things. All right, so speaking of doing things that other people have told us to do, this idea of ideal client, I have been in the business development, personal development world for more years than I can count. And I have studied all the greats, the Brendan Burchards, the T. Harv Ekers, the Darren Hardys, the ones who said that they knew what they were doing. And there's this old school marketing idea that we must somehow know what favorite latte our client wants in order to market to them, that we need to know which magazines they read, what books they read, what favorite movies they have, and all of these pieces that really don't matter. And as I began to learn numerology, I started to see the patterns of our ideal client contract. Now, our ideal client is it's not a person, it's an energy. It is an energy that is activated within the person that we're speaking to. So, for example, my ideal client contract carries the contract of the Four of Diamonds. Now, the Four of Diamonds has this deep desire for material success, material stability. They want to have that stability. And yet what they really, really, really want, that deep down secret desire, is to be loved, to belong. And so in that belonging, what happens is with the Four of Diamonds is that they have this tendency to find their worth, their belonging, their value from their to-do list. That if I just get everything done on that to-do list, then someone will love me. That can show up. And there are other thinking patterns in there too. The thinking pattern of I want to be in community, that I want to belong to a room full of people who think and feel and act in the same way. This whole idea of heart-centered leadership. And so when I am speaking to my humans, I am speaking to that language. Now, I do not speak to this language in a manipulative fashion. I do not try to force anybody to do anything, but I can get into the mind of the ideal client energy and speak to what it is that they desire. So if you are here live, I invite you to drop your month and day of birth so that I can figure out what your contract is. And I would love to dive into some ideal client contract readings for you. So Carla, I see you here. If you would like a reading, let me know and just drop that date, month and date of birth in the comments, and we'll dive right in. So let's look at a few other contracts to give some examples. So for example, if the ideal client contract is, let's go with the Ace of Diamonds. So if the ideal contract is the Ace of Diamonds, then you are speaking to someone who always wants to experience the new, who always wants to lean into all these new pieces, but they want money and love, but they believe that they can't have both. And so there's always this newness of I can't continue to think things, I can't follow through with things. I get an idea and then I want to do it, but I don't follow through, and so it never gets done. So there's that idea of a fear that I can never complete anything when it comes to the Ace of Diamonds. There's a fear that you can only have love or money, that you can't have both. And so they think I need to either focus on my career and nothing else, or I need to focus on my relationship and give up the career. So speaking to that Ace of Diamonds contract, you could say things like, what if you could have it all? What if your schedule wasn't so busy? What if you had the support in order to follow through on things, right? All right, so Dawn, July 13th, let's take a look at what your contract is. I feel like I should know your contract, Dawn. Are you a Two of Diamonds? Because if you are, then I was speaking to the Ace of Diamonds, which is your ideal contract. I find that amusing. I think you are a Two of Diamonds, Dawn. Oops. Let me just get the right piece up here. Okay, July 13th. You are a Two of Diamonds. So Dawn, I must have been feeling you. So that Ace of Diamonds, again, so the Ace of Diamonds is your ideal client. So they also are influenced by the Eight of Clubs. Eight of Clubs being today's contract. So that Eight of Clubs is also very fixed mindset. I can be stubborn. I can think that it can only be one way. But the Eight of Clubs is a very strong mental influence. So thinking about this from the perspective of the Ace of Diamonds. The Ace of Diamonds thinks thinks I can only have love or money. I can't have both. I'm also stubborn and stuck in my ways, and so therefore I know that to be true. And I can't follow through, and I have negative thought patterns around it. So I'm just constantly in this spin of, I really want to go higher. I don't think I can. I don't believe I can. And so therefore I can't. So how do you speak to the Ace of Diamonds? You speak to the Ace of Diamonds in possibility, of teaching the mind to play with the whole possibility playground, of opening the mind to curiosity versus stuck thinking, of opening the mind to what if you could have both. That would be the invitation that I would use in speaking to the Ace of Diamonds is, what if you could do it your way? What if you could think outside the box and do things a little bit differently? What if you could rebel? And what if you could have all the money and all the love both together? Those would be the core messages that I would be speaking to with the Ace of Diamonds. So 3 thinking patterns of the Ace of Diamonds. Dawn, for you, being a 2 of Diamonds, your ideal client is the Ace of Diamonds. So those 3 thinking patterns. Number 1, I don't believe that I can have love and money. Number 2, I am stubborn. And number 3, I don't believe that I can do it my way. So speak to that in your languaging and come back and let me know what happens. How does that shift how you're marketing to your people? All right. Okay, Rika, your ideal client is the 8 of Diamonds. Oh, so fun. Okay, so the thinking patterns of the 8 of Diamonds is, I believe that I have all the power available to me. I've got this King of Spades influence in my Mercury. I am thinking about power, control, the ability to do, be, have anything I flippin' want. And there's also this like, but I don't know if that's true. Maybe I need to change some beliefs, and maybe I'm not sure, and maybe that feels like too much work. So maybe I'm going to get caught up in my head, and I'm going to go over here and over here and over here and over here, and I'm going to try a whole bunch of different things that are outside of me, instead of focusing inward on my power. I'm also going to get super overwhelmed because there's so many things that I could do. If I can be, do, have anything that I desire, then it's possible that I'm going to get overwhelmed and there's too much. So they also have this deep, deep intuition, the ability to channel information to the point where they almost feel like they just take it for granted. Like, why doesn't anybody else channel like this? Everybody should be able to do this. So thinking about these thought patterns of the 8 of Diamonds for you, Rika, as your ideal client, what are the 3 thinking patterns that you can speak to when you're speaking to the 8 of Diamonds? Number 1, you can be, do, have anything that you desire. You hold the power. And the more you question that, the harder it's going to be. What if you just chose to believe that it's true? Or I would even come around the other way of you can be, do, have anything you desire. You are deeply intuitive and you already know the answers, and you don't need to work so damn hard to have what you want. So there's a few things in there, Rika, that you can play with that 8 of Diamonds contract to really speak to your people. That you can be, do, have anything you desire. I think that one's key right there. And also letting them know that they are intuitive, that it comes so for granted to them, that it's just part of who they are. And so trust that, use that, leverage that to their advantage. All right. Hopefully that lands for you, Rika. All right, Carla, July 8th. So you are, I should know this by now, 7 of Diamonds. Yes. All right, so 7 of Diamonds, ideal contract. Your ideal contract is the 4 of Clubs, Carla. So the 4 of Clubs is very committed in the mind. The 4 of Clubs likes foundation, likes stability, likes to harmonize in the mind so that there's like this settled foundation in the mind. The Four of Clubs doesn't like to be all over the place and scattered and confused. The Four of Clubs wants to be grounded in the thought patterns. But we've got lots of thinking patterns here to play with. So number one, their secret desire is that they want peace and ease and harmony and balance and love. That's all they want to experience. And yet they think that they have to do something, that they must partner with people, that they must prove their worth to other people, that they must do things of service for other people. There's definitely that thinking pattern. They also believe that maybe their worth is defined by the amount of things that they do for others in that partnership. And so that they just give and give and give and give and give and give and forget to receive. That's important. Receiving is very important, right? And so thinking about that, they also deeply believe that they need to sacrifice themselves in order to get that love that they want to receive. So in speaking to that Four of Clubs contract, Carla, for you, is something along the lines of, you do not need to prove your worth to anyone. You could open yourself up to the giving and receiving, that everything must be of mutual benefit. That if you are giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and sacrificing who you are so that you can receive love, what if you just cut right to the chase and gave yourself the love that you're looking for? This is fun. I really like this. So that Four of Clubs contract, there's definitely a sacrificial energy. Like, I need to partner with other people. I can't do it by myself. And in doing so, I must sacrifice my well-being in order to make that partnership worthwhile. I'm going to give and give and give to my partner, and I'm going to forget about me. So I'm like to the point where I'm depleting who I am. So the three thinking patterns. Number one, you can do it on your own. Number two, you must give and receive. And number three, what if you just gave yourself the love that you were looking for and opened yourself up to receive that back? That feels good. All right, Carla, let me know how that lands. Rika, that was helpful. Excellent. Okay. All right, where are we at here? Mache, you're curious about the ideal client for your business and company and how to leverage that. You're the Ace of Clubs. All right. Oh, fun. Okay. So your ideal client is the Jack of Hearts. Beautiful Jack of Hearts. The Jack of Hearts believes that they are here for higher love, to bring a higher experience of love to the world. And so your ideal client is someone who wants to love the world in a bigger way. But here's their thinking patterns. The only way that I can love the world in a bigger way is to let it all go and sacrifice. I can't have what I want unless I let go of all the things. If I let go of all the thoughts that I think, if I call my mind higher, again, there's that proving energy of I can't do it by myself. I need to sacrifice myself for the good of others. There's this desperate desire for stability in the mind. And yet, because I'm sacrificing left, right, and center, I can't have that stability. There's this deep overwhelm, like a desire for the world to be a better place. And yet, how could I ever do that by myself? This is too much. Again, the Jack of Hearts is deeply, deeply intuitive. So how do you speak to your ideal client? And this is fascinating, Mache, because I know what you do for a living in creating video games. So how do you speak to somebody through a video game with someone who wants more love for the world? So I'm going to invite you to get super curious about this, of somebody who thinks they need to sacrifice everything and everyone in order to have that greater love. Again, and there's a theme here. What if you could give yourself the love? What if you invited yourself into your heart and mind and being and just felt the love? And what if you didn't have to sacrifice anything in order to experience that love? What if you could just have love? What if it wasn't hard? What if you could bring your mind into a place of stability where you could partner with people or not, where you can go and do the thing on your own, or you can match up with other players in the game and you just go through the game and love each other. I don't know. I don't know what kind of video games you create, but I'd be curious to know how that might unfold for you in a video game or even in the marketing behind the game. Of how do you open that up so that they don't feel like they need to sacrifice their well-being, their own heart and their own mind in order for the world to become a better place. That feels really interesting. Yeah, let me know what you come up with that. That'll be fun to see and explore that. All right. Okay, Dawn, you are so welcome. Mocha, 10 of Hearts. All right, so your ideal client is the 9 of Hearts. Okay, so thinking about the 9 of Hearts, the 9 of Hearts really wants higher love. There's so a theme happening today. I'm getting all the hearts showing up today. So the 9 of Hearts has a thinking pattern that they really don't understand what it means to feel fulfilled. Their mind has a tendency to go to, well, I can't have that. That's not possible. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I can't do this. And there's going to be that mental thinking pattern that just almost keeps them at bay from the fulfillment that they can experience. They've also got this thinking pattern of always wanting the feeling of new. So the 9 of Hearts with a thinking pattern of the Ace of Hearts, they're like bouncing off of each other of, I need to let go in order to experience the new. All I want to do is experience the new, but in order to do that, I got to make space. So they're constantly letting go and calling in the new, letting go, calling in the new. So there's an invitation here that if they were to invite themselves into a deep sense of fulfillment within their own body, to be the one who's willing to love themselves, give themselves the fulfillment, give themselves the feeling of wealth, give themselves what it is that they're looking for, then they don't need to go look for it outside of themselves or from other humans. And therefore, that cycle of ending and beginning and ending and beginning can come to a close. They don't need to end things all the time, but their mind is going to trip them up on that, thinking that the only way that that's possible is to jump into the new, the new, the new, let go, the new, let go, the new. So the invitation here is, what if you didn't have to let go all of the time? What if you could just feel fulfillment right here, right now? What if you were to own your own power, to understand that source energy, God, universe, whatever label you choose to give that, runs in a circuit in your body, and you can tap into that at any moment. And in that, you end up giving yourself the things that you're looking for outside of you, and you can feel fulfillment right here, right now. So Mocha, your client wants to feel fulfilled. They are deeply afraid that they have to continue to let go and let go and let go and let go. Their mind is constantly on the go. They're facing some really deep fears. They have a message to share with the world. They're terrified to share it. And so the only pathway through is to land into that deep power of who they are. So Mocha, you're going to be a brain game coach. That will be helpful. And, you can use Q with your clients, all sorts of things to help them shift into that power. But as you're speaking to your client in marketing and wherever you are, the 3 thinking patterns, I think that I have to always let go in order to experience the new. I don't see my own power. I have a big message to share with the world, but I'm terrified to do it. So that's what you can play with in your marketing language, Mocha. Let me know how that lands. All right. Wanda. Randy, yes, I do talk fast when I'm channeling. That is normal. My channel likes to go very, very quickly. That's why there's always replays. All right, Wanda, your ideal client is the 3 of Hearts. Yes, that is true. So looking at that 3 of Hearts, Wanda, the 3 of Hearts has a very challenging mindset. So their thinking patterns are influenced by 3 cards, the Ace of Clubs, the 7 of Diamonds, and the 7 of Hearts. So that 3 of Hearts is constantly thinking new ideas, always bringing in new inspiration, new ideas. It's just forever downloading and always thinking I got to do something new. I got to do something new. I got to do something new. Those 2 sevens in their thinking pattern are inviting them into a higher perspective. Your value, your worth, and your ability to be in relationship. So that 7 of diamonds is saying the only way that you can see your own value is to come inside, again, to come inside and raise your own value from the inside out. It is impossible to get worth and value outside of you. Everything is from the inside out. So their job in life is to up level their value. But those 2 sevens can be really tricky, especially with that ace of clubs in there. That ace of clubs is like, try the new, try the new, try the new, never settling in and fully bringing something to completion. And then the sevens are going to say, see, I told you you couldn't do it. I told you you couldn't find your worth. I told you that those ideas weren't going to work. This is what's going to happen in their thinking patterns. So instead of, you're going to want to speak to them that they always have these new ideas, that they always have this inspiration. They're downloading ideas and thoughts and information all the time. They're an open channel. So keep an ideas journal. Do you ever feel like you have all these ideas and you just don't know what to do with them? What if instead of getting overwhelmed by all the ideas you have, you would invite yourself into a higher perspective of your worth and value in the world, a higher perspective of how you show up in relationship? And what if you were put here on this planet to bring new ideas into the world that allowed other people to raise their own value too? That's how you can speak to the 3 of hearts. The 3 of hearts is going to be very insecure in relationship. They're going to be very insecure in how they show up in the world with other humans. So they may feel like, I think of a 3 of hearts at a live event, they're probably either going to be the one at the center of attention, party animal, having a great time, looking to others for feedback, looking to others for their value and their worth. If they don't get the feedback that they want, then they're going to feel really crappy. Or the 3 of hearts is going to be the wallflower that's too terrified to go and speak to others, therefore not receiving the feedback that their worth and value is of service. So hopefully that lands for you, Wanda. Let me know. All right. Okay, let's go back up here. I know, I'm a speed talker. You can blame my channel. I usually don't talk this fast when I am not channeling. Okay, where are we at here? Ashley. All right, so October 1st. Let's see what your contract is. Okay, so I love this. 8 of diamonds always showing up. So all right, so Ashley, your ideal client is the 7 of hearts. So the 7 of hearts is, again, a really challenging contract because you've got that ace of clubs showing up in Mercury and the 7 of diamonds. The 7 of hearts' deepest desire is transformation. They want to experience deep change, but they likely are caught up in their mind all the time of, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I can't have what I want. I'm looking outside of myself. I'm caught up in the mindset around money or perhaps health issues. That could be a thing as well. I have high expectations of other humans. And so therefore, the world just isn't going to show me what I desire. And yet they have a deep desire to experience absolute mastery in the world, deep relationship, unconditional love, physical, material mastery. They want the money, the experiences, the cars, the things. They want the things, or at least they think they do. But the things that they want in the world and the experiences that they want in the world come from, first and foremost, unconditional love to self. Now, you're not going to be able to speak to your client and say, if you just love yourself, then you'll have all the money. Because your ideal client is going to say, yeah, bullshit. Kind of like I did when Joy told me that if I just meditated more, I'd make more money. And my immediate reaction was, that doesn't make any sense to me. The 7 of hearts is going to be looking for a to-do list. So give them a to-do list. Give them a self-love to-do list. Give them a checklist on how to love yourself more, or give them a checklist on how to show up in relationships with more love, or how to create whatever you want in the material world with love. The love and the material are going hand in hand here. There's all these hearts and diamonds energy playing together in the thinking pattern of that 7 of hearts. So Ashley, as you're speaking to your ideal client, give them a to-do list. Give them something to do. They're going to appreciate that. But also invite them into an up level in their worth and their value. That the to-do list, and I talked about this morning on my live, is we've all got a to-do list of things in the material world that need to be done. We all have that. It's 52 million things long. But there's a specific pattern of to-dos every day that helps support us in becoming the people that we want to become. So today's energy holds the to-dos of really being aware of your thinking pattern and bringing the mind into the possibility playground of our bodies so that we can choose how we want to experience the day. That's a to-do list. It takes 3 minutes, but it's a to-do list, and it's the most important to-do list of all. So give them a to-do list of 3 things to do every single day to help you up-level your value and love your relationships more. That feels like a really cool thing to do. All right. Okay, where are we at here? I'm going to scroll back up. Nicole, February 28th. Okay. February 28th. Okay, so Nicole, you're the 10 of clubs. All right, so your ideal client, Nicole, is the Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades is near and dear to my heart. I know quite a few of them. So thinking about the Ace of Spades, their thinking pattern is one of probably overwhelm. They probably have ideas left, right, and center, upside down, and backwards, and they don't know what to do with it all. They are deeply driven by a desire for love in the world. They just want that deep connection, unconditional love. They just want to be with people. And yet they're stuck in this concept that the only way they can experience the love is if they show up and create in the material. So the Ace of Spades gets caught up in this dichotomy between the material ambition versus the love that they want to experience. So again, just like most of the aces, here's how you speak to them. What if you could have it all? What if you could have the love, the money, the experiences, the things, all the things that you want in your world? What if you could have it all? And what if I could show you the way you could have it all through a numerology blueprint? Right? I just know this because I know you're putting out numerology blueprints, Nicole. So yeah, invite them into that. Invite them into an exploration of who they are, knowing that the Ace of Spades is someone who is deeply ambitious. They want to experience the world deeply, but they're also driven by transformation and love. They want more than anything to experience love, but their ambition gets in the way. So we want to invite them into, you can have the relationship of your dreams and the money. You can have the relationships of your dreams and the community and the connection and the love and everything you've ever wanted to experience. You can have it all. That feels good for the Ace of Spades. All right. Okay, where are we here? Oh, this is so fun. Okay. Leah, 9 of clubs. All right. So let's look at who your ideal client is. So Leah, your ideal client is the 8 of clubs. So I did speak to this a little bit already, but let's see what else comes through for that 8 of clubs. So today's contract is the 8 of clubs. So recognizing that the 8 of clubs is really about mental power, the flow of the mind, that the thoughts are moving and shaking and they don't need to be stuck. The 8 of clubs can get stuck and it can spin and spin and spin and spin and create a story. And this is my story and this is the only way it could possibly be. So speaking to the 8 of clubs, going to be challenging because they are very fixed mindset. They believe that this is the way I've always done it, and I don't like change, and I don't want to change. And so therefore, I'm going to stay put. So change is going to be very difficult for that 8 of clubs. But what they deeply desire is change. So they're afraid of change, and yet they want to up-level who they are from a higher perspective. They really want to experience that higher vision for themselves. So they carry these thinking patterns of, always the new. They've got this Ace of Diamonds and 8 of Hearts in their Mercury and their thinking patterns. So they're always experiencing this. I want the things, but I want the love, and I don't think I can have both. But all 8s can have everything they desire if they're willing to open their mind to the possibility. So Leah, what I would suggest in speaking to the 8 of clubs is, first and foremost, awareness is everything, which I know you're going to use that one. Awareness is everything, and acceptance is everything. Accepting what is for what it is, and I could have more. And then the third piece that you can speak to them about is possibility. Just constantly driving home all the possibilities. Your favorite question when speaking to your client will now be, what if? What if? What if? If you hear your client saying a specific sentence or story, or they get caught up and they're stuck, always, what if? What if? What if? Find the possibilities for them. So hopefully that lands for you, Leah. All right. Okay. Good morning, Veronica. Allison, hello. Okay. All right, Allison, you are an Ace of Hearts. So your ideal client is the Queen of Spades. So the Queen of Spades, she's a fun one. The Queen of Spades is actually one of my main thinking patterns. So the Queen of Spades often thinks she's right. The Queen of Spades is definitely deeply driven by a desire for self-mastery, of understanding, of deep intuition, of knowing who she is and being willing to lead from that place. That Queen of Spades is deeply intuitive and just knows within her being how much power is available. So thinking about that from the perspective of your ideal client, she probably thinks she knows a lot, and yet she doesn't know enough. She's probably concerned about how she can really say the things that she wants to say in a succinct way in the world. She's probably caught up in wondering if people even understand what she says, if anybody's listening, if anybody can hear her. She may be lying to herself about who she really is in the world. And she's got this deep desire to be a total badass rebel. So you can speak to that Queen of Spades and say, you know enough. You know enough, and there's always more to know. You get to do this your way if you're willing to trust yourself. And what if the things you said were heard and understood? So you really want to speak to that. She carries the Jack of Clubs as her as her first primary thinking pattern. And that Jack of Clubs can be tricky. The Jack of Clubs can show up and say, you're either lying to yourself and you're not in integrity, and so you're doing things that don't make any sense, or you think you know everything, and so you're sharing all this information that's not fully landed, or you think you don't know enough, and so you're terrified to go share. So that could show up in a few different ways. So an invitation here to land into some stability in who she is as the Queen of Spades. I'm saying the word she, it could be a he. The queen can be male, female, it doesn't matter. But I'm speaking to the queen herself. So she may think, I don't know enough, so I'm too afraid to share. And I really just want to experience some stability, some foundation. I don't know how to do that. I feel like everything's constantly changing. I really do want to experience wealth, but I also only want to experience wealth from this higher perspective. And I kind of just want to be a badass. So you can speak to your client using that language. What if you could be a badass? What if you didn't have to do it the way everybody else is doing it? What if you just owned your power and you knew enough and you just went and shared, period. Let's see what happens. Hopefully that lands for you. All right. Okay. November 30th, Veronica. All right. November 30th. Oh, you're a 3 of hearts. So Veronica, you are Wanda's ideal client. So I actually just spoke about the 3 of hearts. So it would be fun if you did catch that. If you didn't, go back to the replay. But let's look at the 3 of hearts ideal client. So is the 5 of spades. So speaking to the 5 of spades, they have a deep desire for wealth in the world. They want to experience the adventure, the play, the freedom to do whatever they want, whenever they want. They really just want to go out into the world and explore the world. And yet they think in order to do that, they must sacrifice everything. They must give it all away, that the only way they can experience the world full of adventure and play is to give away all their money and give away all their resources and take care of everyone else instead of taking care of themselves by calling themselves to a higher experience of love. They're constantly thinking that they need to support others, that they need to give more love into the world than they are receiving themselves. They're constantly thinking that it's too much. It's too much. I just want to go play and I just want to go explore. And yet I got to do this over here. And I got to take care of this person and that family member. And then that so-and-so needs this. And then I got to answer all my emails before I can go for a road trip. Right? So constantly thinking they must sacrifice themselves, their own well-being, in order to experience the wealth in their life that they want to experience. So speaking to that 5 of spades, what if you could live a life full of freedom and adventure without sacrificing yourself and your own well-being? Simple, easy. What if you could experience all the adventure and play in the world without harming yourself? Easy, easy. All right, Veronica, let me know how that lands. Beautiful, Wanda. I'm glad that landed for you. Ashley, you're welcome. All right, so Joe, you are a 9 of diamonds. So let's look at who your ideal client is. Your ideal client is the 6 of clubs. So the 6 of clubs is deeply intuitive and yet sometimes gets complacent and does not listen to themselves. 6 of clubs has a very difficult time trusting themselves and often will, instead of listen, go and do things that are outside of what their intuition is pointing them to, and that creates suffering within their mind and within their body. I can feel that clear. Excuse me. So they have this thinking pattern of a very big message to share with the world. They want to be the thought leader. They have ideas that they want to share, and yet they're terrified to share it because they don't trust themselves. And so it creates this like, oh, I really want to say it, but no, I can't say it. And so they get stuck in that thinking pattern and they never share what they're meant to share. So the invitation in speaking to your ideal client, Joe, is to invite them to how to trust themselves, how to listen, how to channel, how to break through fear so that they can share their message with the world, so that they can experience the higher life that they want to experience. So they really want to experience the flow of love in the world, but it starts with flowing love for themselves. And the more they do that, the more they're able to trust themselves, the more they can just go for it and do the thing and share the message and bust through those fears. And the more they do that, the more they receive feedback and they start trusting themselves more. So, Joe, what I would recommend that you are doing when you're speaking to your client is inviting them to bust through their fears. Inviting them to really, the only way to trust yourself is to take action on your fears and then receive the feedback so that you can trust yourself more. That feels like that really lands. All right. Allison, you have to ask, did the date May 9th call Ace of Hearts? I will check. No, May 9th is a 10 of diamonds. Oh, you pulled that card not knowing what was happening. I love that. Okay, so if your date of birth is May 9th, then you are a 10 of diamonds. So the 10 of diamonds, let's look at ideal contract for that. So your ideal client contract is the 7 of clubs if you are a 10 of diamonds, if you were born on May 9th. I love that. I just pulled a card, see what is happening. I was probably speaking to you anyways, so take both and use them. So the 7 of clubs is a really interesting contract because the 7 of clubs really has a desire for the mind to be higher, to think higher thoughts rather than getting caught up in negativity and judgment and this isn't good enough, that's not good enough, and I'm going to judge everything, and this is stupid, and that's stupid, and I can't. That's where the 7 of clubs can go, but they have a desire for deep love and an experience in the world like none other. They want to experience deep fulfillment. Their thinking pattern is driven by the 5 of diamonds, which is my contract. So the 5 of diamonds, that thinking pattern is, I want to be a badass. I want to be different. I want to think outside the box. I don't want to do it anybody else's way. I want to do it my way. And the only way that's possible is if I call my mind higher. So they also want to experience all these new and fresh experiences. Can I have love and money, or can I just only have one at a time? Maybe I have to build my career first and then focus on the relationship, or vice versa. Maybe I have to focus on my relationship and I have to put my career aside for now while I do that because it's impossible for me to have both. So the invitation here is for them to be invited into a higher level of their own power, that their mind is powerful, but the mind isn't running the show. That if they were to choose to call their mind to a higher perspective, to always question their beliefs and invite their mind into, what if I could do it my way? What if I didn't have to do it the way that everybody else out there is saying I have to do it? What if I chose to do it my way? So as you're speaking to the 7 of clubs, you can say things like, you're a badass, you're a rebel. Who told you you had to do it that way? What if you were to do it your way? What if you could experience the love and the money and all the power and the fulfillment and everything that you've ever desired if you were to do it your way? Let me show you your way. That feels fun. Okay. That was spot on too. Excellent. I imagine that you pulled that card for a reason, Allison. So we'll go with both for you today. I love that. Excellent, Joe. I'm glad. Mache, you just realized that your 3-nager is a Jack of Hearts, December 20th. Yep, which is your ideal client. There you go. So what I would recommend is notice what things land with your 3-nager. I love that word. What things land with them? What do they respond to? And what do they not respond to? Because as you are speaking to your 3-nager, you're speaking to that ideal client contract energy. Now, your 3-nager is probably not your ideal client. And like I said, we're not speaking to a person. We're speaking to an energy that is activated within that person. But that Jack of Hearts showing up right in your direct experience is definitely going to show you and give you feedback for what works and what doesn't. You will find that your ideal client contract is all around you. Even if you don't know people's dates of birth, if you were to ever explore it, you would find that they are everywhere. They're all around you all the time. My ideal contract being the 4 of diamonds, I find my 4 of diamonds everywhere. And I always see it activated in different clients. So it's definitely something that shows up in your life a lot. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today. This was so much fun. Remember to subscribe so that you get notified every time I go live. I'm going live almost every day, offering up numerology readings and to-do lists from the universe. And if you're inspired and you want to deep dive and you want to really connect with your ideal client so that you can stop trying to figure out what to say online, book an ideal client reading with me. I'll leave the link in the comments. You can grab that and we can do a deep dive. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I love you. I believe in you, and I see your power. Bye for now.